What's going on, guys? How is everybody doing today? I'm finally back with another Mayans MC review for you, episode 4. Now, last week I was telling you when I wanted to do the review, the chair that I had initially was really causing my back some pain, but I finally got a new chair, so I'm feeling good, feeling revved up, ready to go to really dive into this, talk about this. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Midnight coming to you with another video for Mayans M.C. review for episode 4 light. So let's get into it. So actually, before I get started, I just want to say, if you like my channel, if you like the videos that I've been posting, everything that I put out, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me at any of these social medias that you see down below. And if you want to donate to the channel, have at it. There's the Cashapp right there. So let's get into it. The episode starts off with the Mayans, Easy, and Santo Padre charter are going to meet with the Chinese out of these shipyards that we saw in the promo, right? Wondering where were they going. So they go to these shipyards and they want to make a deal with the Chinese. Now, earlier, we saw that there was, not in this episode, in the previous episode, we saw that there was some clearing house that the Chinese had to do. It was a deal that somebody doing some shady deals on the side, so they had to get rid of that guy. And now they're dealing with, I believe, I don't think it's the same guy, it's a different guy that they're dealing with now. So what they want to do is sell their product to them. Obviously, from what we saw from last week, Bottles told them that the amount of fentanyl that they made was worth $100,000. Now, 100K, 100,000 George Washingtons. And, the boss, he's not really akin to it. Like, this is a joke. This has to be a joke. And whatever Easy asked for on his paper that he wanted to give them. And, he's like, well, what about guns? Tells them about the crates of Russian guns that they have. And, says, I will make that deal with you. At first, he was like, he wanted more and more, 50, 75. And Angel's in the back, like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? We can't carry this much. So, they go ahead, strike that deal, give the Chinese the guns. And Bishop is not privy to it. My camera's lagging, forgive me. Bishop is not privy to the idea. He doesn't like the idea because clearly they're in the middle of a war with Sons of Anarchy, specifically Sam Dino and Isaac Packer. So, right then and there, it's Hank goes on ahead and he tells Easy, he's like, look, we got a ride, man. I just talked to Creeper about it. He believes it. I believe it. So this is what it is. And they form an inner circle. Bishop wants to tell everybody, but Easy's like, no, we're not. This isn't for everybody. We keep this close until, we know what to do with it. And obviously, Easy, we all know that Easy is the rat, but he's no longer being the rat. He's doing everything he can for the club. That's what he's doing. And Angel is very concerned about this. He tries to steer the conversation and, just like, so how do we know, that he knows? And like I said, Bishop doesn't believe it, doesn't fall for it. So they want to keep it close, and that's how they'll handle it from there. We even have Bottles and his relationship with Elio, they're from a really good friendship, working together, doing the yoga. And things go wrong very quickly. Lobo shows up, one of the brothers, and I suspected last week. I was wondering. I had a feeling that it was a brother that was in Santo Padre, but he had just been, I don't know, MIA for a while because we didn't see him really Didn't really see him much in the previous couple of episodes. So I'm like, all right, so this had to be somebody that we've seen obviously before, but maybe he stepped away for a little while, maybe went on an assignment or something. Comes back, and Bottles asks him, can he, just watch the garage while they're taking their break. He roughs him up a bit. It's like, prospect, who you to talk to me like this? And he's like, I just need somebody to watch. That's it. That's all Easy asks for. Lobo goes in, the fumes hit him, he goes down. And Bottles goes and he gets Sophia, he gets the rest of the group, and Sophia is doing CPR on him, but Lobo's not getting up. Lobo is choking, he's dying, throwing up and everything. She turns him on his side just to get it all up, but nothing is helping. And he dies right there in front of all of them while Sophia is panicking, saying, call 911, get somebody to help. And they're not helping her because they know they can't get the law involved in this. They will be all over the facility. The fentanyl will be raided, and that will be the end of them. So no. And then Bishop gets into a heated, back and forth with Easy. And Angel, actually, really, Bishop says that they need to get this off the premises. And Angel is just frustrated with the fact that, what we're dealing with here, the chemicals that they bought from the Chinese to make the fentanyl, we have to be worried about breathing. Is everything that we're doing right now really worth it? Challenging Easy, essentially. Easy's like, it's only one. That's the cost. Really? Well, that's how they mixed it up in the promo. Like, that's the cost, one. But essentially, it also plays into it because, that was the cost. The sacrifice was made. And, he's like, this is a war. We're trying to survive, and we're trying to do everything to stay afloat. But we can't do that if sacrifices are made at certain points. And Lobo just happened to be one, which is crazy, right? And it's almost as if you're wondering, are we just pawns in your game? Fearless leader? It's I think that's the attitude that Angel was coming from, essentially. It's crazy. Another part of the episode that's really good was, I think I really love Vincent Vargas. He's a really good actor. I like his character Gilly, and earlier on we see him helping Ray and her son. Just get ready to start the day. The son has wrestling. He's in a wrestling tournament, so he has practices, getting ready for practice. And CM Punk's character, he shows up to come and pick him up, as we know that he was having some mental instability issues. And, he shows up. He's like, how's my little man doing? But before he sees his son, he says to Gilly, once Gilly greets him at the door, how long you been banging my wife? Like a blast from the past or something. So it had me wondering, because I did wonder this last season, were Gilly and Ray ever involved, or were they just really close because she was his squad commander? I think that was it. It never really became more than that, but he's just taking a dig at him because his wife and son are staying with him, and I just wonder if Gilly does survive this season, and maybe that's just the one subtle sign, but I wonder if CM Punk's character is going to take Gilly out. Maybe there'll be a misunderstanding because, he just has those blow up moments. Maybe there's a misunderstanding that takes place and he kills him. I wonder. I could see Gilly dying in a gunfight with Sam Crow, but I wonder if that will be part of it, because he's not seeing his wife anymore. He's not seeing his son. He's almost like he's taking his place. So maybe that jealousy seeps in and he decides to take him out at some point, or not even him deciding to. It's just there's this big emotional, overwhelming feeling that he gets. And he's so rageful, and he just blows up, and Gilly happens to be there, and he kills Gilly, takes him out. I don't know. Because technically Ray's still his wife. She's just staying away right now because of, those types of instances. So from there, dive into Emily getting Cristobal ready in the morning. I like how they did that consistency, getting them ready to start the day, right? Uh, and we see Galindo come in, and Emily's talking about making bolognese and, um, you know, saying bye to Galindo. And Galindo, he just, they just kind of have like this quiet moment, because Emily's like in the mindset, I'm escaping. And Galindo's like, okay, I'll see you later, because he's going south. He has to go take care of what happened at the cookhouse, right? So from then on, right, the escape plan starts to unfold, or we start to see that maybe possibly play out. Because later on, when Emily goes to the store, she's trying to devise a plan for Luis and the sitter. It's like, can you split up, and can you go get the eggs? Can you get the wine? I'm going to make a cake. And the sitter's like, well, we already have eggs. No, I need the eggs. Give me the eggs right now. You're ruining my plans, lady. Go, essentially. So she's like, she wants some funfetti, make it for her son, make a cake, right? And before they walked in the store, we see her glance at a car that's supposed to be untraceable, that has no alarming signs to it, that Easy essentially got for her, right? And so while she's eyeballing that, I must say that there is this one shot when she's walking towards the exit, and there's like this kind of, everything else fades out. You just see her face, and you just hear her panting, because you can feel the suspense, and you can feel the anticipation of, is she going to escape or not, right? Like, this is the moment. It's do or die at this point. This is the moment, and to escape her prison, because that's literally what she is. And Luis and the sitter, they're her bodyguards, right? Luis and I think Maria, yeah, they're her bodyguards, essentially. They're her keepers, her correctional officers, if you will. And yeah, so that's spoiled by this lady whose son was killed by Easy, but she blames Emily Galindo and calls her a murderer, saying that she had her son murdered. Now, that was a situation I remember that took place in season 3. I don't exactly. I think the guy was going to speak out against Galindo or something, and Emily needed that to be quieted, but she wasn't expecting him to be killed. She just wanted Easy to, just go and maybe rough him up just a little bit, and things got out of hand, and he ended up killing him. So, yeah, that's usually how those things go. They leave the store, and then later on with her. With Emily, she's just, obviously the bolognese was made, but she's not eating, and she just stares off, and you could just feel like she's stuck, she's done. It's almost like she just completely gave up hope. So will she try to escape again? I don't know. I think so. I think she'll try to escape again, but maybe I don't know if it'll be more so planned like this one was, or if she's just going to take off as soon as she has the chance to. And I mean, just go. And she might do just that, like just be impulsive, just takes right off. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts, no looking back. Me and Cristobal, we're out of here. That's it. That's what I'm thinking. So that's Emily's story for the episode, right? Easy heads to see the Broken Saints as well. I know I'm jumping all over the place, just, it's usually how this goes. So Easy, he goes to see the Broken Saints. After that whole incident with Lobo, he doesn't even say a word when he walks off. I mean, he just dips, and it's like Easy only lets people in, but so much, because then when he's thinking of something, it's, I don't need anybody else stopping me. He just blocks it all. I don't need anybody else stopping me. This is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing what's best for us, without even consulting anyone, right? So he leaves, goes to visit the Broken Saints, and talks to their leader. I don't know exactly the president's name, but he's met with the sharpshooter, who I believe might be the vice president, if I'm correct. Guys, let me know. If we see her in the promo, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to see if I can catch on her flash or something, and confirm whether or not she's the VP. But they have a conversation, and I like what their president said. Now, her character is so interesting. She's very much standoffish, very like over. Doesn't have time. She doesn't play games. She doesn't have time for any of it. And when Easy, he's trying to talk to her, it's Iron War. We discussed this. I can give you guns and money. I don't need your help. We already talked about this. So let's have an honest moment here. And then at some point he says, talking about the particle and the mass. And she's like, yeah, well, I mean, I read a book once. I just don't go around telling people how often I read, or I don't go around consistently just telling people, or showing people that I read. Like, it's okay. And it's funny because she just calls him out, because Easy has a way, like I said, his arrogance is also wrapped up in his intelligence, thinking that he's the smartest one out of everybody else, thinks he's above everyone else because he is the smartest. But sometimes his decisions may not be so much that, or he thinks that they're always the way to go. It may not be it. At some point, Easy's going to be wrong, and it's going to bite him in the butt hard. Yeah, so he says to her, he says, my hands are covered in blood. After she says, while he's doing raking up his bag, she says, your hands are soft. And he's like, my hands are covered in blood. She's like, that's the most honest thing you've said so far. And he wants to help her. He genuinely wants to help her. And I was wondering, I'm going to skip back to the beginning of the episode for a moment. When Easy goes in to see the shipyards and at the fish docks, right, there's a whole pool filled with crabs. And I'm just wondering if what he was thinking to himself in that moment. I mean, like, we're not trying to be crabs in a barrel. Like, everyone, but he's trying to at least feed everyone. Doesn't want anyone pulling anyone down. He wants everybody else to elevate. But crabs do what crabs do. So the question becomes, who is the crab that comes to bring them down? Oh, that's deep. I think Katie might be the crab that brings them all down. We'll get to that. So he strikes a deal with her. They need somewhere to hide the guns. Hides the guns over with them. They strike a deal. And so after we see, their conversation later on play out, they ride. The Mayans ride with some of the Broken Saints as an escort, take the guns there. And the VP, or the sharpshooter, that's what I'm going to call her from now on, the sharpshooter. She asks her Prez, she's like, well, what's mother going to say about this? Prez doesn't answer. Her and Easy, they nod at each other. There's an understanding there. So we don't know all the inner details of the deal, but we do know that pretty much an alliance is formed between them. And maybe with them forming that alliance, they can take out Iron War altogether, and also that weaponizes them a little bit more in the fight against the Sons of Anarchy. So we'll see how that plays out next episode. I'm very, very, very curious to see how that story unfolds. So what else? Hank and Nails. Yes. So this is what I've been wanting to figure out, because early on when we see that there was something, I believe it was in season 3, that there might be a little bit of feelings between Hank and Nails, or at least more so on Hank's side at first. And maybe, I think Nails started slowly developing some, but then, when Hank wanted to make a move, it was discovered that her and Angel were having a baby. And Hank was very disappointed. He was like, oh. But now, after him, taking his mom to the assisted living facility, he gets her out of bed and he's like, look, I know you're depressed and all, but we got to find some things for you to do because you can't stay in this room all the time. And they go past this exercise class, and there's Nails right there being their coach. And they have a little conversation talking about how their worlds always seem to collide at some point, saying how he's figuring her things out, but she's good. She's really good. Then an elderly woman comes out, calls Hank cute, and then they have these smiles, and you can just see that awkwardness between. It's just like it's there, like there's something there, and I wonder if it's gonna happen. I wonder. I think Nails is going to have. I wonder if she's gonna have a bigger role this season. I definitely doubt that that's the last that we see of her, because she did say that their world is tough to live in, and it's even tougher to stay away from. So, do we see her come back? I don't know. I think so. I believe so. I think Nails comes back. How does Nails come back, though? Well, with her being at the assisted living facility and Hank visiting his mom there, I think that leaves some room for them to have some, some more conversations, and then maybe it opens up a bit more. Maybe they just decide to tease us with it, and it's like it never really becomes anything. It's just a tease, which I would hate. Like either do something or don't. Commit to it or don't, damn it. Yeah, so that was a good conversation between those two. Bottles was really a star in this episode. He's in a lot that's been going on lately. Later on, we see him go bury Lobo, right? And it's question of easy. That like we're burying our brothers in the dirt, right? And Gilly gives a speech, and Esther says, "Well, you're the OG. Do you have anything you have to say?" And he is challenged by. Forgive me, I'm trying to remember. It's not. I know that's not Diaz. What is? Give me 1 second. Angelo Bicchero. Just typing this in right now. No, that is not it. That's anyway. For some reason, I just wish I wish I could say his name right now. It's eluding me clearly. But one of the other brothers from another charter. It's killing me. I can't think of his name. I don't know why. But anyway, so you know what? Here, hold on. Look, I'm gonna type this in right now. Mayans season 5. IMDb. Boom. Okay. Really annoys me that I cannot think of this. It's so annoying. I've had so much going on today. I've been so stressed out all day that just the smallest things are eluding me, and it's just my brain is it's just done right now. Where is he? Nope. Full cast. Here we go. So because I specifically wanted to talk about this because I liked the fact that Downer, that's his name, Angel Oquendo, Downer. Remember this, Downer. Thank you. What he kind of is a bit of a downer too, in some ways. But what he says to Gilly, he's like, "Well, what about Easy?" And he says, "Easy's my brother. If he says that this is the sacrifice that needs to be made, then I trust him. I believe him." But Downer isn't really for that. He's like, "Look, how many brothers do we don't really?" They ask a lot of challenging questions. If you've seen Civil War, that's kind of how it is with all the individuals outside of our leaders. They ask the challenging questions for both sides of it. It's like, well, what do we do in this scenario? And he's like, look, there's sacrifices that are going to be made, but it's for the greater good of the club. But at some point, I wonder, Bishop and Downer, they're thinking in the same camp. Like, we can't keep affording to lose brothers. And that's, what Easy is doing. Is even though he's not giving everyone the answers, he's working his behind off to get the answers for everybody so that, ties can be formed, that they can be protected, and that everyone can live rich and be happy. That's it. Right. But I found it funny that Nestor at the end of that conversation, he says, well, is anybody hungry? Like, what? Just buried a man. And now you're talking about, is anybody hungry? I mean, it's why? Like, I don't think I want to eat on the stomach of just like, no. I mean, but hey, they do the funerals, you've got the repast, but they're not having a repast for him. So I don't know. Anyway, Galindo, he visits the cookhouse, and Soledad, she tells him, one of my men left another one of his men dead, lying on the bathroom floor. And she's just pissed. She's livid with what's going on because no one told her what was happening. She just stumbled into it after, probably hearing something, but not from her people specifically. Galindo tells her, like, look, let me talk to Eduardo. We can work all this out. She says, you talked last time. Now I'm dealing with it. And that's that. And one of the kids that was there, he happened to be trying to escape at the moment, and Galindo caught him, and he says to him, so he pretends to be the police just to get some answers. The kid tells him that the man that he saw, everybody was dressed in black. They had hoods. They were in a van, and you can kind of see Galindo like working it out. He's wondering, like, and in a way, you're thinking what he's thinking is he's probably thinking Mayans, especially since he said they spoke English, right? So the kid tells him that there was a guy there that was a tall guy with a beard, with hair combed back like a movie star. Who do we think that is? That's Angel. So where does that take me? Back to the official trailer when Galindo says you convince him. I think that's when Angel and Galindo are having that talk. He's like, you convince Easy to stop doing what he's doing. And because it's not going to be good for everybody. Like, everything is about to fall apart. It's almost like that one shot of the crabs is this entire universe, because everything is so intertwined that if one thing slips, everything falls apart at this point. Like, this is it right here. Like playing Jenga, right? You pick the wrong block, and if you don't pull that block correctly, the entire tower just comes falling down, comes crashing down immediately. So that's what I think may take place in the next episode, but haven't watched the promo yet. So once I watch the promo and I do that breakdown, then we'll get into it. That'll be great. A couple other things I wanted to touch on that I wanted to just discuss. The end. Yes, the end of the episode. Oh, this other point, right? So remember how in last episode we see the file that Katie gets, says Kevin Jimenez on it? I wasn't even thinking at the moment. I'm like, who's Kevin? Kevin was the agent, right? That Easy was reporting to, his second cousin, essentially. So she finds his file and listens to the tapes of their conversation when she finds it. And that's when she looks towards the wall and she realizes, she hears Easy's voice and he says Easy, and she looks and she sees him on the wall. And it's like, yup, there's your rat right there. I don't think it's obviously not going to be pretty. This is not going to end well at all for Easy. It's not going to end well at all. But I do think that, I wonder if someone does take out Katie before she can be the one that is the whistleblower on Easy. I really am curious, because, like I said before in the previous video, I think that Creeper may tell him something, and that might send him to Katie. And he takes Katie out. That could be it, and that could be who Angel and Easy were burying together. There's so many things, and I was wondering, when they buried Lobo too, if at first I was like, is this on like is this in another group's territory or what? Like, what's going on here? Are they trying to blame somebody for it? I don't know. But obviously they just got him off the premises. But I don't think we'll fully know until the next episode, if they try to put him somewhere else. I don't know. If they would just bury him just to bury him. But I wonder if she might fall victim or be a victim of the violence that occurs, and that Easy takes her out. I really do wonder that, genuinely. And Eduardo, the boss that Galindo and Soledad made a deal with, he's killed by Adelita. So she takes him out after dropping off some money. And the woman who was overseeing the whole operation, she says, well, we have one more job for you. And after she takes him out, all the guys in the middle of playing hide and seek with his granddaughter and slicing a goat leg in a wine cellar, which was, I'm not going to lie, you want to talk about stunting on somebody? That's how you do it. If I could sit there and carve a roasted goat leg in a wine cellar, play hide and seek with my granddaughter, it's like, you're doing pretty well for yourself. Illegally, but you're doing well for yourself, She takes him out, and he tells her before she slits his throat. Yeah, he says to his granddaughter, close your eyes. And she takes him out right then and there. And then Adelita sees her. And I saw someone in the group, in the Sons of Anarchy Minds Facebook group, I saw someone ask, or it was on Twitter. It might have been, I think it was in the Facebook group. And it was asked, Did Adelita? No, I'm sorry. It was on Twitter. Did Adelita kill that little girl? I think she did. I'm gonna tell you why I think she did, because when she broke down about protecting Cristobal and wanting him close, she only did it just to cover her bases. But what she doesn't want is for that life to bleed into, I mean, not Cristobal, Maverick. She doesn't want that life to bleed into Maverick's life. So she wants to keep him protected at all times. And Angel reassures her, like, hey, I got you. We're going to be good. And I like the shot initially when he's not even sitting fully. He's sitting on the bed, but you just see the top of his head and you see Adelita just looking up at the ceiling. But the side where you see the top of Angel's head, it's dark and everything else is dark. That way you just kind of focus on her. You're just focusing on Adelita and her story about her dad and how she felt safe when he took her to the beach. And that was the only time that she ever felt safe in life. She wants to always make sure that Maverick is safe, because with all the enemies that she's made, all the enemies that Angel now has, it's, well, how can we got to keep this family protected, because if I lose them, that's it. Like, she's going to snap. And so I really think that, I think she killed that girl. I think she did. I really believe it. There was a lot of pain in what she was discussing and what she was dealing with. And, Angel doesn't know the details of why she was feeling that way, but, the mission called for what it called for. And she wants to make sure that Maverick's always taken care of. I really, like I said, this season is really going to hone in on the importance of family and holding family together. And, Emily with Cristobal wanting to escape and get away from this life. Felipe wanting to get close to Galindo. He doesn't even really want, he wants Galindo to get to know them. So maybe, Galindo makes a decision eventually. It's not going to happen. He's already set in his ways to get away from this life. Like I said, it's not going to happen. He's already set in his ways, though. But it's there. It's just, the negative side of it. Then you've got Angel and Adelita wanting to protect Maverick. There's so much happening here. Like, there's so many families involved. And, Sophia, she blew up it easy because she lost her daughter and she tried to save her, but couldn't. And then she tried to save Lobo and couldn't. And it wrecked her a bit. That's the other thing. Her ex, he showed up. He's saying you got to forgive yourself for these things. He's reformed. He's changed. And she doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't even want to look at him, doesn't want to talk to him. He actually came and visited her at the shelter first. But she said that she wasn't there. So I think that there are so many themes that are at play here. There's so many storylines. That's kind of why I can get all over the place with this, because there's so many layers that's talked about right now. And I think that maybe if this, I love this season so far. I really do. I just think that if there were some things that were fleshed out, maybe it wouldn't be so complicated and so full and feel like you just sat down and had the biggest meal each episode. Now you're trying to process and break everything, break it all down all the way through. I think there were some, like I said, some plot points could have been handled in previous seasons, and other plot points could have been hashed out even more so if there was an extra season, that this was not the final season. If the following season will be the final season, if they just decide to go to 6 or something. I don't, but again, like I said, I enjoyed this episode. I wonder what's going to happen next episode. I can't wait to dive into it. My prediction, I would say my biggest prediction right now is that Emily, not next episode, maybe not next episode, Emily fully escapes. But I think that something will take place because of that woman shouting murderer. I think that there's going to be a repercussion to that. Maybe there's going to be a further investigation into this. I don't know. Like, she already had those people come and rough her up a bit, but I think not rough her up, but we're stalking her. But I think that there's going to be a little bit more to that. It's not the strongest prediction, but I think there's going to be a little bit more to deal with that. I also wonder now, the deal with Cole, where now they got all these extra chemicals to make the fentanyl. I wonder when Cole comes back. Maybe that's next episode, and they actually get a full load out and and make that deal. But I don't think Cole survives. I think Easy also takes him out. I think there's going to be so much bloodshed towards the end, trying to take out so many groups, that Easy completely loses himself in the process. And I'm still sticking by Angel takes him out. I'm sticking by that to the end. That is what I am sticking to. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this review. Let me know, tell me how you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below with the other plot points. Maybe there was something I didn't touch on that you could, hit me up with. I just finished my second rewatch of it, but like I said, it's been a long and stressful day, so my mind's still kind of rattled, just a hair. But I really love you guys being here. Really appreciate the support, and I can't wait to see you all on the next one. Take care. See you guys later. Y'all gonna check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth hell.